Let's talk about Rembrandt and his exploration of human emotion through his work. This is going to start a brief series of training session notes videos where we look at some famous artists and their creations, usually just kind of touching at it so that you can go and look at them at a deeper level yourself. Our objective for these notes is to examine his profound impact on art through his detailed exploration of human emotion. He used a lot of biblical narratives to do this, and his work frequently highlights light and shadow. He's one of the greatest painters and printmakers in European art history. He's going to come up constantly, and his works are celebrated for some of those things we talked about, like that use of light and shadow known as chiaroscuro. Rembrandt's technique and style is notable for its deep emotional and narrative richness achieved through masterful technique. Just look at this painting down below. Chiaroscuro is Rembrandt's use of light and shadow, and it brings dramatic intensity to his subjects, making them compelling and visually striking. You notice the darkness in the background contrasted with the lightness of the characters in the front. His portraits are particularly renowned for their psychological depth and their vivid portrayal of the subject's personality and inner life. Now, looking at an example of this would be The Blinding of Samson, which is kind of a gruesome painting, but it illustrates his skill in depicting intense drama and emotion. He uses the biblical narrative of Samson and him being blinded to explore complex human themes. He's going to use stories from the Bible frequently in his works. Again, you can see that use of shadow in the background contrasted with the light. The Return of the Prodigal Son does the same. You can see figures in the background in shadow, with our main figures being highlighted in the light in the front. It's known for its depth. The painting captures moments in forgiveness and redemption with profound humanity. The Return of the Prodigal Son, of course, another biblical story. The impact on Baroque art and beyond. Rembrandt's influence extends across art history, shaping the Baroque style and influencing countless artists. His dramatic use of light and focus on emotion helped define the Baroque period's aesthetic, or how the art looked at the time. And his legacy is that his techniques and thematic depth continue to inspire modern artists, particularly in how they capture human emotion and narrative complexity, or showing these stories in paintings. Painting can communicate more than just a static picture, it can communicate human emotion, it can communicate sadness and loss and forgiveness, it can communicate horror and pain. It can do a whole lot story wise through what it is and what it shows. So, a sample question. Rembrandt was one of the first artists to illustrate the blinding of which biblical man below, whose strength disappeared after Delilah cut his hair? Is that Abraham, Solomon, David, or Samson? The correct answer is going to be Samson. In The Blinding of Samson, Rembrandt captures the dramatic and tragic moment of Samson's downfall with intense emotion and powerful use of chiaroscuro, reflecting the biblical story's depths. All of these are other famous names in the Bible, usually with important stories tied into them, such as Abraham, known for his test of faith and almost sacrificing his son, being the father of Israel, etc. Isaac, Solomon for his wisdom and ruling, and David for his battle with Goliath as a king of Israel. That's going to cap our discussion on Rembrandt. Dive a little bit deeper yourself and look at some of his amazing artwork.